Good morning. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sam and we just fiddle around with wire and beads on this channel. And today I thought we would have a look at this gorgeous little link. So I was just messing about the other day and, you know, you just sit down and have a faff about, and this is what we've come up with. So I thought this was a really nice chain link. You can use it for chains. Obviously, I'm making a chain with it here. So let's get straight into it, shall we, and make this gorgeous link. Okay, so as usual, I'll put all the ingredients that you need down in the description box below, and we'll get straight on and make this one. If you're interested in these little stations here, I will put a link up here somewhere for a little video that I did quite a while ago for those. So let's make these links. Now, I'll just quickly measure them for you. They are 3 1/4 centimetres each, so in inches, about just over 1 inch in length, so you know you can work it out from there. So each one of these needs approximately 10 centimeters of your wire. If you want to put a little bit extra on the top, you can. You'll get away with 10 centimeters though on these. If you want to have a little bit more at the end, obviously you use 12, so we'll do 2 on camera, and then because they're not hugely exhaustive, bit of a quick video today, which is fine, isn't it? We can do quick ones, and that's 0.8 20 gauge wire. It's all messed up now, but that's all right. 20 gauge. I'll just put that there and sort that out later. That's another thing to worry about later on. Right, so everything that I'm going to do today is based around my 6-step bell making plier. Now mine is a 2 to 9. So if you're going to do the same thing and yours is a 3 to 10, just add slightly more wire, that's all. So let's move this one out of the way. So as you can see, we've got a little section at the end, a little section at the end, and then 2 loops in between 3 beads. Okay, so you want to find the center, which for me is 5 centimeters, give or take. So you have this with the smallest bail on your plier. So for me, it's 2 millimeters. And you want to wrap it around like this, pop it over the top like this, yeah, then just pop that off, turn it around, replace your pliers, and then come back round. So we've essentially got a double loop. Can you see that? We've got a double loop at the end. And then bring these over and across a little bit so that you have a slight gap. You see that? Super. Now then, you want to come in with your chain nose pliers. Now this is slightly fiddly, but you just need to grasp the end, the loop here at the end. Take your pliers. What we want to do is to bring these up straight. So just come in where the wires cross and bend the wires like so. So if you need to come in, you can do. Pop them back on your plier and just sort of fettle them a little bit like that, so that they are parallel with each other. That's what we're looking for. Okay, you got that? And then this is when we come in with our beads. So I'm using size 3/0s. These are Preciosa 3/0s. Beautiful beads. I use seed beads all the time in my jewellery, just because I think they're very, very pretty. Okay, so the first thing we want to do now is to put a bead on, slide both your wires through. Now obviously you can use different beads with this design as long as the holes are large enough to take 2 of your wires. So if you wanted to do 18 gauge and maybe use, you could probably put 18 gauge through, possibly not, but you can get sort of, you know, bigger holed beads with space. So as long as your beads fit through, you're fine. Holding the bead right down, butt it right down at the bottom. You just want to split these wires with your finger, just so you've got a bit of a V, And then you want to come in with your, pop your little plier back in and place the second mandrel next to the bead and squeeze slightly, like so, only very gently, so that your second mandrel, which for me is 3mm, sits right next to the bead. And then cross this over like this. So you've got an angle kind of like that. Take your plier out, so you're left with this. And then again, we want to make these parallel. So you just come back in with your plier, and just where the wires cross, hold that steady and bend upwards. Just where the wires cross, hold it steady. There we go. And then what I like to do is to bring your pliers back in, place the small mandrel through and the larger mandrel through, and then again just sort of make sure it all fits around, which it does. So that's your first loop. Come in with your next bead, pop that on, and essentially do the same thing. So we want to split these wires, holding the bead downwards, excuse me, and split your wires a little bit. And then again, come in with your small mandrel in that gap there, and with your larger mandrel, just very gently squeeze, and then move these guys around again. So you're making the second larger loop. So you have this kind of angle. Having trouble focusing today. And then again, come in with your plier, and just where the wires cross, making sure that this loop is stable, because if it's not, it'll lose its shape. And then again, put your plier in and just sort of fiddle around, squeeze things so that it's nice and happy and that kind of shape. And then last bead on, like this. And then again, split the wire as best you can. Now then, I'm going to come in with this like this now, and holding it very, very securely. I want to just move those. Actually, it looks like a bug. I've just realised it looks like a bit like a bug. That's cool, isn't it? Okay, so the last thing we want to do now is to make a double loop on one side which matches the double loop on the other one. All right, so because I know that my 2mm mandrel takes around about 1 centimetre of wire, I'm going to cut that to about 1 centimetre. You can measure it if you like, give or take. I mean, I do it by eye. Better to have just slightly too much than not enough in the first instance. And then taking your mandrel, you'll find that you can cross, I don't know if that camera will pick that up, you can cross those wires so that one is on one side and one is on the other, which is just what we want. Can you see that? Excuse my gnarly fingers. There you go. So just taking my first step on my plier, just want to turn a loop that's slightly too long. So I'm just going to chop off a tiny bit. Mind your eyes, guys, as always. And then you want to just turn your loop so that that's like that. So as you can see, hopefully that one is on the right side, this one's going to be on the left. So you chop off your centimetre or so, and then you want to, if you can see, you want to bend this wire around so that it sits parallel with this loop. That makes sense. Hopefully it does. So very gently, that's going to be too long. So I'll just chop a bit of that off. So very gently bend. So obviously you're going to have to use the very end of your plier. So you can see that but that makes a double loop at the end. If it splits slightly, don't panic. Just bring things in and shift things around a little bit. Close these together like that. And there, my friends, is your cute little, let's just shift that around a little bit. There we go, your cute little triple beaded link. How cute is that? So you can use these for all sorts of things. You know, like this is going to be a necklace chain. So you can stop here if you want. I will make another one just on camera. You know, feel free to just pause or stop the video now. I will make another one just on camera, just for the sake of it. So around we go, around we go, up, off, back in, and then cross over, so that we have just a little tad of a gap. Come in with your pliers and then bring those parallel just where they cross, and then come in with your beads. You need 3, 1, 2 and 3. Pop your little wires through down to the end. If that's slightly offset, don't worry about it. You can do it now if you want, or you can do it when everybody's on. Split the wires, bring your plier in, squeeze gently, and then bend your wires around. And then again, make these wires parallel. So just where it crosses, just use your thumb and your forefinger to keep that nice and steady. I'm going to bring my plier back in. Just to keep everything nice and anchored. Yep, that's fine. And then I come in with my second bead. Oops, come on bead. On we go. And again, all the time you can just pop your plier in. Just make sure that everything is, you know, nice and happy. Split these again. Small mandrel in the bit that you've just done. Squeeze gently, only gently. You don't want to crack your bead at this stage. Around, and then the final time, make sure that they are parallel. Again, come in with your pliers, just faff around a little bit so that everything's nice and neat. Last one on, and then split the wires again like that, so it looks like a little bug. I think that's really cute actually. I might think about making a bug. Snip about 1 centimetre and then turn your loop, not forgetting that if it's just slightly too long you can cut a bit off. Yeah, and then same again on the other side. And as you turn your loop, make it parallel with the last one that you've just done, which does take a little bit of you know, messing about with the angles, if you like. That's fine. Put those together. Straighten everything up, And there we have our double loop on the end. So I hope you enjoy making those, and I hope that you find lots and lots of wonderful ways in which to use them. I'm just going to finish off this. So I'm going to use 4mm jump ring, pop that on the end of there, pop that on the end of there. Yeah, dead easy. Super, super sweet, and really, really nice for necklace chains and things like that, as I say. This is going to be for me, actually making something for me. So pop that on. Okay, let me know in the comments what you think about this little link and what you're going to be making it for. Isn't it pretty? Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, my friends, quick one this week, and I will see you in the next one. Take good care of yourselves. Bye.